Well, good evening and welcome to another YouTube Live, friends, and still going through this coronavirus age. I thought it was high time to share tips that we can regenerate our power, purpose, pleasure, creativity, vitality. And actually, it was the topic at the launch of the Areti Goddess events going on online with combined with online group coaching. And on that note, I want to congratulate all the goddesses who invested in themselves and made a commitment to call a timeout for an hour or an hour and a half per week just for themselves. So welcome aboard, goddesses. And if you'd like to join us, you can join us anytime. And there's a link below where you can register as well. And tonight, I've also pulled out a goddess card for our goddesses, which I'm going to share with you later. And would you know it? It's right on track with our subject tonight. So it's absolutely fantastic. I'll share that with you later. And what I want to talk to you is, as you may or may not know, I am a holistic coach. So I work cognitively as well as energetically on a cellular level, etc. And because what I've found in my own growth and experience is that it takes a combination of techniques all coming together and working together. And in actual fact, what I'm going to talk about tonight is one of the most powerful energy centers in our body, which actually controls our vitality, our personal power, our sexuality and sensuality, our creativity, our purpose, our pleasure, absolutely everything. And when I tell you what it actually affects, you will be amazed. Now, for those of you who do know, this is called the Sacral Chakra, and it's actually positioned about 3 inches below your belly button. So tonight we're going to activate that, and I'm going to share with you a little of what was shared at our launch on Saturday, which is actually quite a lot. Okay, so let's begin. Now, the thing about the sacral chakra is it is represented and connected with water, the moon, and the color orange. And you'll notice I'm wearing orange today to commemorate this occasion. Now, it's also very much, and it affects us emotionally and physically. On an emotional level, what can happen is it affects things like our fear of abandonment, fear of acceptance, and it can represent itself in negative emotions like jealousy, anger, perhaps feeling really needy. The other massive one is needing to be in control. And that's in control of other people or of yourself. So that's a really good indicator, because what happens is with these energy centers or chakras, when they're actually blocked or out of alignment, that is how they are then expressed emotionally and physically. Now, on a physical level, what can happen is you can, if it is out of alignment and blocked, as it well could be, because we are stuck at home in lockdown, we're possibly not as active as we could be, and we are faced with a lot of fear of uncertainty, a lot of us with anxiety and panic about the future, and all those kinds of things. Okay, so physically what it affects, and just take a mental note if you are suffering in any of these areas. For instance, if you have lower back pain, if you have hip problems, ailments in your pelvis, spleen, your adrenal system, your sexual organs, kidneys, bladder, colon, and especially your vitality, your energy. And for those of us who do suffer from chronic illness, I will say right now, because I am a chronic fatigue sufferer and I am full of vitality, but I have to tell you that I have to work at it. every single day. And in fact, the kind of tips that I'm going to share with you tonight are very easy, practical tips that you can work with on your own. Now, what it does is it affects our sexuality, creativity, pleasures, movement, especially with hips and joints and the pelvis, lower back, our intimacy, our empathy, and our ability to move with change, as we need to do with major, major life changes at the moment, right? So I'm going to move on to your tips now. And one tip I will give you is that you will know if you're out of alignment straight away when you are controlling, either with yourself or with other people. So my tip for you there is to consciously catch yourself and let go. You can even meditate on let go. Breathing in let, breathing out go. Just keep that in mind. Whenever now you catch yourself being controlling, just say to yourself, let go. My second tip to you is to let you know that sexuality, sensuality, and creativity are the same thing. So that's a really good tip to know. The next tip I have for you is to make a decision to give yourself permission to want things and to go for the things that you want. Make a decision to give yourself permission. You can say, I give myself permission to go for the things I want, or even to allow myself to focus on the things I want. The next tip I have for you is to go with your passions. Be impulsive, especially if you're controlling. Okay, this will be a challenge for you. But this is the way to activate your sacral power generator. Okay, so be impulsive, indulge yourself, go with your passions as much as you can, because they will also make you happy. So be spontaneous and actually focus on feeling. It's amazing how many of us stop feeling and actually become numb. When I talk about feeling, I'm talking about feeling sensations, feeling in your body, feeling emotionally, feeling in general. So start feeling and following your passions and accessing what it is that you're actually passionate about and going for it, okay? The next tip I have for you to activate the sacral chakra, your master generator, is to surround yourself with the color orange. Wear orange, have orange around the house. You can even, I've got some crystals for you here. I don't know if you can see them. You can use crystals, and if you haven't used them before, you can actually hold them, put them under your pillow, have them next to you. These will activate your sacral energy center, your chakra. You can also find healing power in sweet, like foods, like sweet fruits or anything orange, like oranges or melons, for instance, or cinnamon, things like that. And you can also, I forgot to tell you, the crystals that orange that you can use that will activate your sacral chakra are crystals like orange calcite, citrine, cornelian, those kinds of crystals. You can also use oils, and you can use sounds like om and bam and They're really great at activating your sacral chakra. The next tip I have for you is to use breath work. There's nothing quicker than accessing and activating a chakra than breath work. And I do not profess to be a yogi, But I will tell you this, there is an exercise that you can do which involves, I'm just going to demonstrate it for you, and what you can do is actually search for it on YouTube, because there are loads of videos of yogis actually demonstrating this properly, okay? But I'll just give you an idea, and you can, what it involves is actually breathing out quickly in bursts and contracting your sacral chakra. So basically you can breathe out through the nose, breathe out through the mouth, but it kind of goes like this. I'm not doing it very well at the moment, it's spur of the moment, but you can actually pick this up. And if you can do this for a few minutes every day to activate your chakra, there's no quicker way to do it. Now, in terms of yoga, which is also really fantastic, because you use your breath with yoga as well, you want to focus to energize your sacral chakra. Poses like the warrior pose or hip opening poses, the goddess pose in yoga are all really fantastic. Low lunges, and breathing into your back. Another tip I can recommend for you is to use meditation. And when you use meditation, you don't actually have to be really experienced or even spend a long time doing it, because it's all about the power of intention. So what you want to do in meditation is simply close your eyes and visualize the color orange around your sacral chakra, which is 3 inches below your belly button. And as you visualize it, you can visualize it as an orange light, an orange flame, an orange flower, or an orange disc. That's a really good one, because as you breathe into it, you can actually imagine it rotating and starting to really activate and work. So that's a very simple tip to use in meditation, just by using the color orange in around that chakra. And let's face it, that is such an integral part of our bodies, isn't it? It affects so many of our organs. So it's really worthwhile doing that. Another tip I will give you is water. Because water is associated with your sacral chakra or master power generator, just surrounding yourself with water, perhaps having a small running waterfall in your home, which is also great for feng shui. But you know, if you're limited, as we are at the moment in lockdown, I mean, I would say go swimming, do things like that. You can do something as simple as have a bath or have a shower. Water is really great to connect with, to activate with the intention. Always hold the intention, because intention is actually really, really powerful. Or holding the intention of activating your sacral chakra, your energy generator. Now, the other thing you can do is really file into your brain to go with the flow, as water does. Water flows. So if you can program that into your brain, just to go with the flow, go with water. I don't know if you do yoga. I do yoga with sound healing. And the thing about yoga is it teaches us to really slow down. Every movement is a breath. And when you hear sound healing, it's basically, you can go on the sound of your heartbeat. And of course, we're referring now to a slower rather than a rapid heartbeat. But if you go with your heartbeat, that is the actual rhythm of the universe, and you can tap into it, and it will really distress you and energize you. There is nothing more energizing than breathing and breathing techniques. So definitely look into that breathing technique that I briefly shared with you. You'll find loads of videos on YouTube, especially if you suffer from low energy, low vitality, things like chronic fatigue syndrome, things like narcolepsy, all those conditions. or if you're just tired, fatigued, because breathing, taking in a breath, is actually taking in life force, or what we call prana. It's energy. So anytime you feel low in energy, take in a huge, deep abdominal breath, and you can even retain it at the end of the in-breath, which will retain the life force and the prana before you breathe it out. The main thing is to stop grasping, stop controlling all of those. If you manage to allow yourself to go with the flow, to focus on what you want and go for it, it will unlock your passion and it will re-energize you because you will be inspired. So if you want to reset and power forward, this is the best way to do it. Now, before I end this session, I really want to share this goddess card I picked out for you all today. And I'm just going to show you the picture here because it is so apt to what I'm sharing tonight. So I'm going to read it out to you, okay? What I did was I pulled out the goddess card of Mary. Mary is most closely allied to the Middle Eastern moon goddesses. And of course, the sacral chakra is connected with the water and the moon. Like them, she's a creator goddess, which is what we all are. Associated with both the heavens and the sea or other waters, she's worshipped by Catholics and the moon of the church and as Stella Maris, the star of the sea. The moment of annunciation is when she confronts the truth of her own great creativity, symbolized by Gabriel, the angel of truth, made from fire. This is the moment at which she accepts the imperative to create, the need to bring forth life from the very center of her being. Mary is a goddess as womb, as source of all life and of regeneration. She's the mother of mercy and infinite compassion, the one we turn to in times of need. She's a reminder that compassion toward oneself fosters creativity. She reminds us to be gentle with ourselves. Isn't that absolutely beautiful, goddesses? And on that note, my last tip to you this evening is to create. Be creative. There is nothing better to activate your power generator than being creative. So create as much as you can. And if you don't think you're creative, let me tell you that being an entrepreneur, for instance, is creative. Anything you create, you don't have to be, of course, if you can paint a picture or draw or perform, sing, dance, act, whatever it is you do, that's an obvious expression of creation. But cooking a beautiful meal is also creative. Or creating any kind of project is creative. So being creative doesn't necessarily mean you can't be creative in absolutely everything you do. Even if you are working remotely, of course, at the moment, in the corporate environment, you can still find creativity. And the way to do that is to find inspiration in everything that you do. How can I be creative? How can I look at this a different way that is creative and actually makes me happy? This is what it's all about, goddesses. I encourage you to join us for our weekly goddess events combined with coaching, because that will give you a chance to bring up what has come up for you weekly, release it, and power on to the next week. They're loads of fun, and I've got the link there for you so you can look into it and register. And I will hopefully see you on Saturday for our online session. In the meantime, I wish you amazing success. Until next week, namaste.